Slimehouse TV, myself, Theo Kane, hold tight everybody that's locked in, the Slime Alliance and the Slime Renegades over on Patreon and everyone else that's supporting. So as of me recording this video today, we're not even a month into 2023 yet, and I've already picked up so much cool stuff, I don't even know where I'm going to put it all, but it feels like a really good omen, and we're setting off into 2023 on a real good vibe and picking up some real nice finds, and I'm going to show you some of them in today's video. Let's do this! So I'm going to say this right off the bat, I think that 2023 is going to be a real good year for all us toy collectors. I really do. I feel like it's going to be really good. I don't know why, I just get the feeling that this year is going to be a real nice year for toy pickups and for toy finds. I'm going to the Doncaster Toy Fair in like 2 weeks or something like that. It's on the 19th of February, so I'm going to be at the Doncaster Toy Fair. I'm going to be filming all that like I did film the last one. That video was really popular, and I'm looking forward to going to film that again and hopefully finding some real nice pieces to add to the collection. I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about my toy making stuff at the end of the video. I've got some exclusive pieces to show you, like first time revealing them to anybody, so I'm really looking forward to showing you them as well, but I'm going to do them at the end of the video. The first part of this video is going to be showing you some of the pickups that I've got already this year. So like I said in the intro, we're not even a month into January yet. In fact, today's the 31st of January, so tomorrow's February, so I'm kind of blagging it a little bit, but this is the first month of January, and hopefully this video will drop tonight on Patreon 2 weeks in advance, hopefully, if I'm on time and I manage to get this edited in time. I'm feeling confident. But the first thing that I wanted to show you is something that I didn't actually pick up in 2023. I saw this in 2022, but I didn't pick it up myself. I got somebody else to pick that up for me. My friend Rise Toys and Stuff went over to Nerdbase, and when I was in Nerdbase, I saw this in the cabinet. I even talk about it on the video, but for some reason I didn't pick it up at the time. It just like kind of went past me. I thought about it, and then by the time I'd got to the end of the video, I forgot that I'd even seen it in the shop. But it is something that I've been wanting for quite a long time, and it's the Mr. T Combat Attack set. So I'm a big fan of the old Mr. T toys. Mr. T to me is like an icon of the 80s. He was larger than life. He was like a real life superhero, and he's one of those few people like Chuck Norris that actually merchandised himself. So I'm a big fan of these like 12-inch doll versions of Mr. T, these like articulated dolls. I completed the Firefighter figure last year, which was really hard to get because that's a figure again that's like not really sought after, so trying to find one of them loose with all the pieces was not easy. I had to put together a couple of different collections to get a nice complete one, and I didn't want to go for all that hunting down, trying to get each individual piece to get the Combat Attack set. So what I figured is if I find a nice one like this that's all there complete but it's on a card that's pretty beat up, then I wouldn't feel bad about ripping it off the card and putting it onto a figure. Now I've got a couple of Mr. T's already. I've got him in his actual outfit, I've got him in the fire suit, I've also got a custom one that my dad made that's in storage. So I didn't want to take the outfit off that one, so I found one on Monkey's Emporium. Shouts to Monkey over at Monkey's Toy Emporium. I got one off him. It's currently in the post, going to arrive, but when that arrives I will pull this off the card and I'll put that uniform on that figure and probably film it for a video as well. So that was the first thing that I got delivered as of 2023. So shouts to Ryan for the Mondo Blitzers as a birthday present, because it's my birthday in January, so he sent that as a birthday present. And getting this as well, even though I bought it myself, it was months ago, so it was also like an extra added birthday present as well, and I've wanted this for a long time. So finally having one with all the pieces that I can take off a card, not feel bad about busting it off the card because it's a yellowed bubble and it's cracked and it's split and it's bashed up and that kind of thing, will mean that when I get to put it on a figure, it will be a real nice display piece, all complete, all of its pieces in its entirety, and looking awesome on the shelf with the rest of the Mr. T figures. Another figure that I managed to complete just a few days ago, and if you've been following my Action Man journey over the last few months, you'll know how hard I've been trying to find the last pieces to complete this figure, and it's this guy, the Action Man Space Commando. So this is a real hard figure to get complete. Out of all of the Action Man stuff, and especially the Space Ranger stuff, it's definitely the hardest one to track down in my opinion. I was warned in advance when I was looking for parts for this, like there's certain parts like the hose that are really hard to find, and people can pay like a real high price for what it's worth for this little hose, and I finally managed to get one the other day at a real nice price, so I was really happy with that. So if you've been following this channel, you'll know that a few months ago my dad gave me a lot of his old Action Man collection, and he gave me a ton of complete Space Rangers stuff, but one of the figures that wasn't complete was the Space Commando, and when I received it off him, all I had was the tabard and the overall, so I had to track down the gloves, the boots, the gun, the helmet, and then the pipe was the last thing that I had to find. And if you've seen me at the Toy Fair videos, you'll have seen me asking the Action Man dudes, have you got a hose for a Space Commando? And none of them have ever got one, so the fact that I finally managed to get one the other day was awesome. And this is one of the reasons why I love the toy community because I was basically tagged in a post by someone that had found this part of a Space Commando and didn't know what it was, and then he put it on a page and a few people said it's off a Space Commando, and then a few people tagged me and said Theo Kane's after one, so if you're going to sell it, make sure he gets first dibs. So I messaged the guy, I told him what it's worth to me, made him an offer, and he accepted it, so he sent that to me. So shouts to Rob for that, I really do appreciate it, and it's real nice to finally have this guy complete. And how awesome does he look? If you're talking Action Man and vintage stuff and Space Rangers, I honestly think like he's one of the coolest. You couldn't ask for a cooler Space Ranger Action Man than that. How awesome is he? Another part that I needed for some of my vintage Action Man stuff was the boots for Bullet Man. So if you watch the Action Man video that I did, the last one that I dropped, the third one, was like one of my big video essays that I do where I do lots of intricate shots and stuff like that. But it was not just a review of the figure, it was also like piecing it together and like fixing some of the bits on it that was like broken or worn and things. And I managed to complete a Bullet Man looking awesome, by the way. And the only thing that I didn't manage to get for it was an original leotard with the sticker on, so I had to get a repro sticker, but that's cool. And I never had boots for him. These are actually off an old Mego Superman figure. These are actually for Bullet Man, so I needed some boots for him. And also when it comes to Bullet Man, there's a couple of different boots that you can get. The English version had plastic boots like this with a little metal booster that fitted on the back, a little silvery plastic metal booster that fitted on the back, and then the American version, the original Bullet Man, came with these boots, which are like rubbery kind of things. And I never had a pair of these for him, so I managed to get a pair of these off eBay recently that were ridiculously cheap. So I had to actually ask, like, on some of the Action Man groups, do you know if anybody does repros of these? Because they were so cheap compared to what I've seen around that I just wasn't sure. I thought there's no way they can be legit. They was listed as original, but nobody else bidded on them, and I managed to get them at a real nice price. And the only repros that I could find online were like real thick compared to this, so I'm pretty convinced that these are original ones that have just been kept in real nice condition. The only problem with them is because they're like an old stretchy rubbery material like a latex, it's going to be real hard to get them on the feet, which is why I've not properly attempted to do it yet. Like, I gave them a little slide on like that, and they don't really go on well. And when it comes to this old Action Man stuff, the latex stuff especially, it's prone to splitting and tearing, and I don't want that to happen. So what I'm either going to do is try and get them on with some talcum powder, or take the feet off this, because this is a restrung body, so you could take the feet off that and then just push the stumps in there and it'd hold up real nice. But either way, it's a project for another day. It's just really nice to have those boots now next to him, because I've been after a legit pair of boots for him for a while. So having those boots there, again, having the figure complete makes it nice and display worthy. And if you've been watching my little Action Man videos, you'll know how much I've been trying to get that set complete. So just having them there was just like a nice little final piece to the puzzle on that figure. And yeah, just really nice to have, and was another nice little thing that I picked up just a couple of days ago, real cheap off eBay. Now, speaking of vintage Action Man and boots that fit on his feet, one pair that I will never have to pick up ever again are the black Paratrooper boots, because I recently acquired about 300 pairs of them off an old friend of mine and my dad's called Terry. Now, when I was a kid and my dad was big into vintage Action Man collecting, we used to go around to his friend's house, Terry, and he had the dopest Action Man collection ever. Like, he had all the original vintage Action Man, and not only that, he was like a wealth of knowledge when it come to vintage Action Man, and he taught me and my dad so much about them. He had everything, he had every single figure, he knew everything about them, and although he doesn't have his collection anymore, he did recently find a box in his loft full of vintage Paratrooper boots. So we brought them round to my house, and there was also some other little goodies inside there. I had a real good dig and found lots of cool little pieces inside there, not just boots. But yeah, when it comes to Action Man Paratrooper boots, I don't ever need to find another pair. In fact, if you're a friend of mine and you need a pair of vintage Action Man Paratrooper boots for your collection, then let me know and I'll send you a pair, because I'm never going to use all them. I don't need them all. I'm happy to hook up the brothers and sisters in the toy collecting scene. If you need a pair for your figure, hit me up, let me know, and we'll work something out. There was also some other real nice pieces in there. The Steve Austin radio box, which I don't have a box for my Steve Austin radio, so I'll be able to like give that a bit of a restoration and that'll display nice. There was also a flattened old Maskatron box in there, which is cool because I've also got a second incomplete Maskatron that needs a box. So that's a nice little side project as well that I can be doing, picking up little pieces to put together a second complete Maskatron. Because if you watch my recent video on 2022 pickups, you'll know that Maskatron was not only one of my favourite things that I picked up last year, but one of my favourite figures of all time. There was some Action Man wallpaper in there as well, which was awesome. But funnily enough, out of all the stuff that he brought me, the coolest thing that I thought that he brought me was this old camera. So this is a Ricoh Mirai, an old camera that came out in the 1980s when people used to actually shoot on film that you'd take to get developed. Panasonic also did an identical one to this from what I understand, but what makes this one really cool is it was actually featured in the original Tim Burton Batman movie. So you see Bob the Goon jump round the corner and take a picture of Bruce Wayne on one of these cameras. And it's a real interesting looking piece. It all folds out, almost looking like a video camera with its little handle and stuff like that. And what Terry's going to do is bring some film and show me how to use this thing. And I'm feeling like it would be a real good day to go out to a toy fair or something like that, or out with my girl and just take some real cool pictures and get them all developed old school style, something that we really don't see anymore and something that isn't done anymore. But I think as a cool like retro activity, throwback kind of day, I think it'd be fucking awesome. As a kid, I remember my mom getting out the camera, and it was like a real big deal when anyone got out a camera as a kid. It would be like, all right, everybody get together, let's take some pictures. I've got 10 left on this film, so I want to get some nice ones. And you'd take like a few pictures and give one to your auntie and one to your nan and stuff like that. It was like an event when somebody pulled out a camera back in the day. Nowadays, people just have their phone and they can snap pictures all day and it's a minor. But back in the day, pulling out a camera at a party or an event or something like that was like an event in itself. So I want to bring back a little bit of that into my life. Maybe take this thing out to some cool events, like I said, and take some nice pictures and get the film developed and have some like tangible pictures, because it's something that we just don't have anymore, and it's something that I personally miss. So again, not toy related, but Batman related at least, and 80s and retro and awesome. So yeah, another nice thing that I picked up recently that I'm really looking forward to having a play with. Something else that I picked up recently that I was absolutely gassed about, I couldn't wait to crack it open and play with it, was Hero Quest. And not just any Hero Quest, the brand new re-release of Hero Quest, which is an awesome set, which I'll talk about in a minute. But if you've been following this channel for any number of years, you'll know that I'm into Warhammer, I'm into old school miniatures and painting and diorama making and stuff like that. I love going to Warhammer World. In fact, going to Warhammer World are some of my best viewed videos on this channel. So there'll be a lot of people that subscribe to Slimehouse just for the Warhammer content. Unfortunately, I don't get to cover Warhammer content on this channel as much as I would like. I'm always trying to find a way to film me painting those models and talking about them and reviewing them and stuff like that without it being like a stupidly big time consuming process, because painting those things takes a long time. I like to set up lots of shots, and editing them into videos can take like a whole week and stuff. So I'm always trying to find a nice healthy balance of how to cover Warhammer on this channel, but I've got a huge backlog of old school Warhammer, old hammer as people call it, and I really want to feature more of that on this channel this year. So hopefully I can do that. But I wanted to play Hero Quest for a long time, and recently I decided in 2023 I want to play my first ever game of Hero Quest. Never played it before, kind of understood how to play it, but never actually sat down and had a game with my friends. I wanted that to change in 2023. So I got out my original Hero Quest and was looking through it and looking at the models and stuff like that and learning how to play it. And then I thought, I'm going to check out the new Hero Quest, see what that's saying as well, see how it differs. And it looked so good that it completely enchanted me, and I ended up buying the new Hero Quest as well, which is actually at the minute on offer on Amazon. So if you want to get yourself one, head over to Amazon and pick yourself one up as well, because you will not regret it. It's such an awesome set. So what we did recently is me, my girl Rox, my friend Bentlegs, my sister and her boyfriend Nathan, we all sat down and had a proper Hero Quest night. My girl Roxy did a stew and a punch bowl and lots of snacks, and we had old 80s fantasy music playing and stuff, and we had a good few hours going through the first few quests, and it was such fun. Like, I can't tell you how much fun we had playing that game. Just as much fun as I have playing a fucking game on my PlayStation. We had an awesome night, and I can't wait to arrange another one to do the other quests. So, not straight toy related, not action figure related or anything like that, but a nice tabletop game with lots of awesome miniatures. And if you've been thinking of getting into something like this, then this is definitely an awesome entry level game to start playing. And like I said, because it's reduced at the minute on Amazon, there's no better time to pick one up. And just one of those purchases that you don't regret. You look at it and you just get excited, and I can't wait to do some more questing. I look at this thing and I think, oh, I can't wait to crack that open, get it all laid out on the table again and do some more questing with my people. It's going to be fucking awesome. So something else that I wanted to talk about on this channel, and it's not toy related, but I wanted to shout about it anyway because I'm real proud of my involvement in it, and I received my hard copy of it a few days ago and it looks awesome in person, so I wanted to show it on the channel. And it's this thing. So I created this album cover for my friend Awkwards a long time ago, like 2019 or something like that. It was pre-pandemic and stuff, and this is my friend Awkwards from Stockton in America. So back in the day, a little bit of backstory of how I know Awkwards. I was big in the battle rap scene, the UK battle rap scene especially, but I knew all the guys in America that was like the biggest battle rappers in the world. I contributed to a lot of the battle rap scene in many different ways, and I met many cool friends all over the world from doing it. Some people that like are still some of my closest friends to this day, and one of those guys that I met during that time is Awkwards. And then Awkwards in 2019, 2020 or something like that, he hit me up that he was going to be doing a track track with the legendary Method Man of Wu-Tang Clan. So my friend Awkward's works in TV on Wildin' Out and stuff like that, I think it is. He's one of the writers on these shows, these big American shows, and he met Method Man from doing that show, and they did a track and a music video and stuff together. So when he said he was doing that, he asked me if I wanted to do the album cover artwork for the single. I say album, it's a single, and I was like, fuck yeah, like no brainer, like I was all over that. So this is the artwork that I did for the album cover. So not only was it awesome to be able to do my friend Awkward's artwork, because I've done lots of stuff for him over the years, but getting to draw Method Man and working with Method Man on a project from Wu-Tang Clan, being a fan of hip-hop and a hip-hop head and a fan of urban music and urban culture and that kind of stuff, this was absolutely awesome to me. So we did this a few years ago, but it's only recently that the vinyl has now finally came out, and I got to have my own version of it, my own copy, and look how dope it looks. I don't know how well it shows up on camera because it's a real nice neon yellow. When I was trying to film the close-ups, it looks like a bit like a normal yellow, but this is actually like a real nice neon yellow. Yeah, looks kind of similar on camera, but it's one of them you've got to see it in person to really be able to appreciate how awesome it looks. So the vibe that we wanted for the album cover was Method Man, Awkwards, and then Young Collage is the other artist that's featured on the track. And it's almost like that Adam F. Chaos kind of vibe where it's post-apocalyptic. You've got these three guys in like some tech cyber ninja gear fighting off all these robot cyborgs, and just that whole like post-apocalyptic comic vibe that most people who watch this channel and that are like me really fucking love, really dig, and are a real fan of. And what's also crazy for me is that I don't like most of the stuff that I draw. I will draw something that I think's awesome, and then within a week or two, within a couple of months, I hate it. I delete it off my Instagram because I don't want to look at it, and I'm embarrassed by it, and that's just what I'm like as a very self-critical artist. I'm a full-time illustrator, that's what I do as my main job, my main hustle, but that doesn't mean that I like all the stuff that I draw and the stuff that I put out. So it's rare that I would do something in 2019, 2020 or something like that, and look back at it and still like it all these years later, but this is one of those very rare pieces that I look back and I wouldn't change anything. I really do like what I'm looking at all these years later. And the fact that not only is it a piece that is featuring Method Man, like one of the most legendary rappers of all time, and my friend Awkward's in America overdoing bits, but the fact that I can look at it all these years later and still not hate it and still appreciate it is very rare for me. So all round, just a real cool piece that I'm proud of, and just something I wanted to shout about in today's video, even though it's not toy related and it's not Toy Talk Tuesday. I still think it's pretty awesome.
Now observe Mr. Meth and Awkward. These thoughts stirred, they should be seen but not heard. Stopping birds, your goose cooked, the pot stirred. You got some nerve, AJC, you got served. Like that, so why you acting phony like that? Like that, where I go.
Okay, time to talk about the exclusive shit that I talked about at the start of the video when I said I'm going to talk about at the end of the episode. So, if you've been following my channel, you might have heard me like vaguely mention this in videos and stuff before, but at the minute I'm kind of moving into toy production and toy making. Now, I've worked in toy production for quite a few years. I've drawn lots of schematics for toys and for Sofube and for independent artists and action figures and stuff like that, but I've never really created my own action figure. I've created a couple of things for myself. You might have seen on the channel before, I made the Ball of the Dead, and I made a They Live Madball inspired, like the Funko horror Madballs that they did, but I never actually created my own action figure, articulated or anything like that. So all that's changed in the last few months, and I say over the last few months, but I've been working on this for like over a year now, learning articulated joints and things, in a very slow process, because although I'm an illustrator, I never worked in 3D before. I didn't know how to 3D sculpt or anything like that, and I taught myself from the ground up how to do it. So first of all, I just had to teach myself how to 3D print because I didn't know how to do that at all. I was just printing off STLs I found from the internet and stuff, and then seeing how far I could go down with detail, how small I could print something and still have nice detail, printing something that was like Warhammer size, printing Tyranids off and things. So I kind of got to a point where I'm like, okay, I can print something that's small and still retain all the detail by doing resin 3D printing, not having a ton of print lines and things like that, and printing something out that I can sculpt and then print real small and still be happy with the quality of it. And I started off by just creating like one single model, but then quickly within a week or so I wanted to start adding joints and articulation and things. So that's something that I've been learning over the past like year or so, and I'm at a point now where I'm pretty good at it. I would say I'm at a level where I'm confident that I could put something out and it would be marketable and it wouldn't feel cheap or it wouldn't feel amateur or anything like that. It would feel like just as good as any other articulated figure that you'd find on the independent toy market. Now, I've currently got a figure in the works at the minute with a big toy maker here in the UK. I'm still not going to say his name because I'm not ready to announce who that is. I'm not going to show that figure on today's show or anything like that, but that's something that I've got in the works. I did want it out already. I wanted it out at the end of last year, but due to like some of the artwork and stuff and some of the paint applications and things, we've hit a few snags and we're not ready to reveal that figure yet. But what we have got looks absolutely incredible, and we've just got to iron out some of the kinks at the very end of the process, and then I can get that like shown on the channel hopefully within the next month or so. But that's pretty much good to go. In the meantime, I've also got something else that I'm dropping exclusively on the channel that's going to show you a little bit about the toy making and the level that I'm at and stuff like that, and just a real nice showpiece to show you what to expect from my toy making in the future. I'm not going to show that today either, but one thing that I am going to show today is something that I made more recently that was part of something that I was doing for a client. So I got hired by a client who is now a friend, who asked me to create some things just for his personal collection. But when I made them, he was so impressed with them that he said, I kind of don't want to keep these just for me. I want you to be able to produce these and be able to sell them yourself. And if you want to make any changes to them or anything like that, then you can go ahead and do that. Give me the original ones that you've made, but if you want to change these into something that's more your own style and something that you can sell and use to sell to your followers and your customers and stuff, then I'm going to give you the rights to do that as well, which was obviously awesome. So the stuff that I originally sculpted for him were in a much more like chibi style, almost like thumb puppet, very close to that but not quite, a mix between like a Japanese old Keshi thumb puppet and then like a Kaneko Man muscle figure. And he wanted one that was inspired by a Guyver and one that was inspired by Inframan, and I did him a few different versions, some stuff that was his own design and things like that, but they was all very much in that little chibi style, which he is really into, but it's not really my style. So when he said that I had the rights to him and I could just do whatever I wanted with them, I then went back and changed the Guyver figures particularly into more of a Muscle Man standard Keshi style, and they came out something that I was really happy with. Now, what it is when you're creating this stuff, if you're doing like articulated figures and things, they're going to be quite expensive to somebody that's like an average toy buyer. Maybe to somebody in like the art toy scene and the Sofubi scene and stuff like that, it's what you expect to pay for this stuff because they're used to buying independent made toys. But if you're not from that world, but you like the look of it, you're going to look at it and think, do you know what, that's probably more than I want to spend on something. That's probably more than I can afford. So when it comes to like my articulated stuff that I'm doing with this other toy maker in England, they're going to be a more high priced figure. But I wanted to be able to create something that is more affordable to like your general toy buyer. So what I've done is I've gone back to these original sculpts that I did for this dude, and I've changed them now into like a muscle figure that are one single pull. So if I was going to cast these in resin or in durable plastic or in rubber or anything like that, then they would be just one single pull figure, and you can sell them a lot cheaper than you can an articulated piece. So basically, in very simple terms, over the next few months, I'll be able to create two types of figures. Something that's articulated and boxed and all painted and is more of a higher price point for someone that wants to buy that kind of thing. But if you want to support the channel, you want to own something that I've made, or you just like the look of these figures, but you don't want to spend the big bucks on the big articulated thing, you can have something that's a bit more of an affordable price point, something that's a lower price point in the more like one color, two color kind of Keshi style. So I really like these things. I did two that were Guyver inspired, and I've done one that's inspired by Guts from Berserk. If you know Berserk, then you know how dope that guy is. So I've done a Keshi that's like Guts inspired by Berserk, and I've got lots of cool ones that are half finished and lots that are like in my brain that I want to make. But just wanted to show you for the first time something that I've actually sculpted myself and something that I've created. So I personally feel now that I've got that kind of unlocked, sculpting and printing and being able to create pretty much anything I want. My girlfriend has also got a Prusa printer, so she can print anything big that I need. She printed the dice roller that we used for Hero Quest the other night. Also for my birthday, she printed me a full-size Casey Jones mask that she printed and primed, and it's absolutely awesome because I've wanted one of those masks for a long time. But she's real good at printing big stuff. And then my friend Booty has also got an 8K resin printer, and he's real good at sculpting like engineered vehicles and stuff. He recently gave me a load of models that he's made for a World War II board game that he's working on, and the quality of the stuff that he's printing out is incredible. So I kind of feel that between us we've got everything unlocked now. Not only that, he then sold me all of his actual toy making equipment as well real cheap because he's moving into a different direction. He was going to make this stuff himself. He's now getting a factory to do it. So I've now also got all the stuff to make my own stuff all here in-house, here in Slimehouse as well. So this year's going to be crazy in terms of toy making stuff. I've just got to find the time to do it. But when it comes to that time, I'm hopefully going to be able to sculpt, print, cast, and sell my own stuff all from my own house, all cutting out anybody else having to be involved or me having to pester anybody else. I'm still going to be doing collabs and stuff. Like I said, I've got a big collaboration with a big UK toy maker at the minute that I'm going to be announcing in a few weeks. And I'll still be doing collabs and things, but I'll be able to produce a lot of the stuff myself. And that means I can keep the costs down, I can make them nice and affordable, and hopefully can be having toys made and printed and sent out around the clock moving forward. Something that I'm really excited about. So yeah, 2023 is going to be a real interesting year, not only in terms of the stuff that I'm looking to pick up for my own collection and playing more Hero Quest and stuff like that, but also creating my own figures and being able to have the Slimehouse toy making empire as well, something I'm really looking forward to. So, let me know what you think of the Keshis that I've made so far, but also bear in mind that they're nothing. They're just little things that I made as like something that's like a nice affordable figure that I'll be able to put out there real cheap. When it comes to like the articulated stuff that I've been making with weapons that you can put in the hand and everything, I've surprised myself with how well they've turned out. And in the next couple of weeks, hopefully the next video that I drop, I'm going to be showing one of my actual action figures that's all tied into a big project that I've been working on for over a year. I don't want to say any more about it, but it's fucking awesome and I can't wait to reveal it to you. But yeah, let me know what you think so far of the little things that you've seen, even though they're nothing compared to what you're going to see in the future. Let me know your thoughts on them and everything else that you've seen in today's video. If this is your first time joining us here on Slimehouse TV, my name's Theo Kane. Usually these videos are a lot better structured, but I just did this one, just sat to camera today rambling. So if I have ranted a lot and I have rambled and I haven't took a breath like I often don't, then I do apologise. But I hope you've enjoyed this video anyway. If this is your first time checking out Slimehouse, let me know who you are down below. We've got an awesome community here on the channel. Everybody likes to talk toys every single week, but especially on a Tuesday. So if you want to chop it up with other like-minded cool people, then do it in the comments below. Let me know who you are, what you collect, and what's your plastic crack addiction. If you've got any cool ideas for future Toy Talk episodes, again, let me know those down in the comments below. And if you want to hit me up but you don't want to do it publicly, the best place to do that is over on Instagram at Theo_Kane_Slimehouse. That's the best place to hit me up if you want to send me a private message, and it's also the social media that I'm the most active on. I try and post on there as regular as possible, so lots of the stuff that I don't cover here on YouTube also gets put on my Instagram as well. If you want to help support this channel, you can do that over on Patreon. You can become a Slime Alliance member or a Slime Renegade over at patreon.com/SlimehouseTV. There's a couple of tiers that you can join on there, including the Slime Alliance tier, which allows you to get access to videos like this 2 weeks in advance, and it helps me keep the lights on here on Slimehouse, and it also helps me make this channel bigger and better than ever and keep these videos coming as frequent as possible. So, like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this video today. I'm Theo Kane. I can't wait to catch you in the next video and show you all the cool stuff that I've got in the future dropping, including the action figure stuff, which is going to be amazing. But until the next video, I'm gone. Pow!